mic is working. This is working. The stream is starting. It's okay. I'm still just trying to figure this out. Nobody's watching yet anyway, so it's fine. Let's see. I'm seeing how far behind my mouse is. It's pretty far behind. That's good. That's fine. That works. So let's see. That's for the encoder. I'm glad that doesn't show. How do I'm still trying to figure this out. The live control room. Oh wait, this is, of course. Okay, let's see. Of course. I'm still trying to figure this out. Alright. So can you hear me right now? I should probably put that in a different tab, so I'm just trying to figure this out. Okay, okay. At least I can be heard. I guess that's really all I need to do before I go ahead and get started. So, I don't know if too many people will watch this, but I figured I'd do this instead of scripting and really reviewing these outright. I just don't have a lot of time. I'm moving out of my apartment, and it's a bunch of mess. So, I'm testing out a live stream. I've never done this before, so I don't know what I'm doing. I hope my fan's not too loud. But, anyways, this was kind of hard to do. To sit through 6, 7 of these movies at once is kind of painful, but it happened. And now I'm going to be going through each one individually. Oh, I'm also going to be making a tier list. You know what a tier list is. And then once I upload this up to YouTube, I'll put timestamps for each video, well, each movie, and then a timestamp for just the general end, I guess. Whatever makes it simplest to go through, that's where I'll put the timestamps. If they're not down there, I just got lazy. So first up is Despicable Me. And they peaked so quickly. They peaked way too early. And I mean, they peaked painfully so. Not that it was a fantastic movie that brought tears to my eyes or anything. No, it's not that good, but it's a pretty good, heartwarming sort of film. When I rewatched it, it didn't hurt to do so. It was all right. But I'd say the best thing about it was the character interactions. Nothing too cheesy, nothing too ham-fisted. I mean, it was plenty cheesy. But overall, I'd say the first Despicable Me was, well, nothing is going to be in the S tier. Not a single thing will be here. That's Illumination doesn't make S tier. At least they haven't yet. But, maybe A.5, B.5, I guess. A.5 would be here, but I guess A. It's the closest A that they're gonna get, so I might as well let them have it. They made so much money from like a little bit of a budget. I really find that impressive. I mentioned that in my other video, but I really do find that impressive. I mean, it started this nonsense, so I can't really be too happy about the movie. And the Minions are actually okay in this movie. They sit in the background. They don't do too much. I'm alright with the minions in this movie. They're actually kind of cute here and there. Just knowing what they'll become, it's a whole nother story. And I used to work at FedEx, and do you know how many boxes I moved that had like minions all over them? Just so many products from the minions. But overall, I'd say it was their best movie. It's heartwarming and it doesn't hurt to rewatch. I don't really want to see it again, but there we go. Hop? Hop is not good. They jumped downhill so quickly for Hop. So as it started out, I knew what it was gonna be. To see that he was like a little baby at first, the little baby rabbit drumming along and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be like Rock Dogs. It's gonna be like all those other movies where it's like, I want to be a rock star. I want to be an artist. I want to be something that my parents don't want me to be, which, I mean, good for you, but I'm tired of seeing that story. And I mean, we love the underdog. But it's so uninteresting. And, of course, you have the whole... I actually laughed at a certain point in the movie where it was like, if I take you to this, you'll be out of my life for good, right? And I just had a flashback of 500 different movies where that exact plot point happened. I feel like, did that happen in Looney Tunes Back in Action? I feel like that happens in so many things where it's like, I'll take you to this and you're out of my life. And then, like, once they take him there, they're like, you know what, I can't leave him. He needs my help, you know? And it's a tried and true formula. I mean, they made some money on it. It's not like, what is that? Leica. Which, I mean, Leica makes great movies. They just don't make the same kind of money returns. This is a bad movie. And, I mean, it made 3 times the amount of its budget, so... yeah, it's a success in the eyes of business. The I want candy thing, painful to watch, very much so. But yeah, Hop is a very, I mean, it's not the worst of them. But it does go down with the worst of them, I would say. We have yet to hit the worst of them. So, let's see. Next up. Alright. Next up is the Lorax. And I mean, these aren't in-depth reviews. This is just how I feel about them. And the Lorax is a very... I don't really feel a lot of emotions when I watch the Lorax. Other than mild creepiness over the boys, like, crush on that girl. Can't speak today. I mean, once again, it made money, but, I mean, it's an Illumination movie. They all make money. That's what they're good at. But the Lorax, I think, is like a good message muddied by poor storytelling. I think maybe I said that same thing in my other video, but that's just what it is. So it has the message of the whole environmentalist, conservation, all that stuff. And it's just not really hitting the nail on the head. The Onceler fella, he's too nice. When they introduce his family, and his family they're the ones that are pushing him towards this whole malicious intent thing, it really takes away his own personal agency when it comes to his own actions. They don't really feel like his own choices there. It feels like he's being pushed around. And I mean, I get it, he's ultimately a good guy, but he's supposed to feel kind of evil, but he feels a little bit more goofy, lighthearted than he does evil. And also, with the disjointed narration of the movie, I have a hard time caring about either story. I definitely don't care about the dude and the 12-year-old kid and his, like, cool grandma and the girl he has a crush on. I don't care about them at all. And I don't super care too much about the Onceler story, but it is the better half about it. I actually kind of like the "How Bad Can I Be" song, which I mean, I maybe was just looking for any kind of fun in the movie because it's not that good, but I like it. It's got a little bit of a bounce to it. So the Lorax is no, it's a no, it's a C. It's a C. Despicable Me 2. Let's see. So Despicable Me 2 made way too much money, almost $1 billion, and it's the worst Despicable Me movie. Spoiler for, well, no. There's this, but that's not a Despicable Me movie. It's a Minions movie. But out of the 3 main series Despicable Me movies, I would say 2 is the most forgettable. Because to be honest, I do remember the purple Minions. I remember El Macho. I remember that stuff. But it doesn't leave an impression like the first movie. And it's not quite as goofy as the third movie. Can't think of a reason why I would want to watch it. I don't know. It's just not very good. But, it doesn't hurt to watch. Lucy is a very one-note character. I mean, she's always been kind of one-note, but she's definitely... And it's not bad that she is so one-note. It's bad that she's one-note and is such an integral part to the story. If she was a little bit more off to the side, she wouldn't distract me as much. And the voice actor for her... didn't mean to highlight everything. The voice actor for her, I think, does a pretty good job with the character, I would say. Steve Carell, I like his groove, but also it annoys me, so, you know. But, overall, this is an okay movie. It looks better. Worlds better than Hop, where the rabbit, shits candy. I don't really like that. But, I can't put it, I feel bad putting it in B because that's wrong. But also, it's better than the Lorax. I'm debating. Hold up. I'm gonna put it with the Lorax. Screw it. That's good enough, but I'll put it on the higher end. Yeah. That works. So, next up is, of course, the Minions movie. Yay! I actually watched about half of it. I watched the whole thing. $1 billion. I watched the whole thing, but half of the time I was playing Enter the Gungeon. I am not the audience for this movie. I can't stand... It's one thing to have characters that don't speak English. Like, I watch the Chinese cartoons. I watch the anime. I know what it's like. I listen to people who don't speak English all the time. It's another thing to have them speak gibberish, It's another thing to have them speak high-pitched gibberish non-stop. And it's almost decipherable. I don't like that. I don't like that it just teeters on the line of a language, that it says like random French words and Spanish words and English words, and it's just weird. And also they're just kind of annoying in general. And I went into this going, I'm going to be the devil's advocate. I'm going to be the one that's like, the Minions, you know what, this was an okay no, I could not say that this was an okay movie. I don't like it. And I was thinking this would actually be a good point to sort of like build up why the Minions even want to have, like, a supervillain to follow. Like, that would actually be an interesting concept to build from. Why do they want to be evil? Why would they want to help someone? Because they're not evil creatures. They're very neutral creatures, maybe more destructive than anything else, but I've never looked at the Minions and gone, yeah, that's an evil creature. I can see why it wants to be evil. Like, you don't have to justify some creatures, but when it comes to the Minions, I think it might help. But I guess, aside from the Minions, who, were the main characters, it wasn't too terrible. It wasn't as bad as it could be, but it was bad. It was bad. I didn't laugh. I didn't puff a little air out of my nose. I didn't chuckle. I couldn't enjoy this. I'm not even gonna review this any longer. It's just a bad movie. No question about it. It goes right into that D tier. It's the worst one out of the bunch. It's insufferable. The animation's okay, but only at the Illumination level of okay, where it's all just average animation. They have so many techniques that streamline the animation process, but it actually kind of hinders the quality, where it'll be fine, but it doesn't step past that. So, The Secret Life of Pets. I actually watched this on a date at a drive-in movie theater, and that was okay. The movie itself was, I would say, one of the better Illumination movies. Tried and true formula of the whole, I almost said buddy cop, but it's like the two friends that hate each other at first, and then they have to go through some journey, and then they grow together. It's Toy Story. I don't need to say much more than that. It's just Toy Story. But I kind of like some of the character designs. I mean, a lot of them are just the tried and true Illumination, rounded characters, pointed legs, flat faces, large eye kind of thing that they do on all the characters. But I think it serves itself best on these animals than it does on the human characters. The human characters are very Uncanny Valley-ish. They all look like Dr. Seuss characters, which, I mean, helps them for the Dr. Seuss movie they do. But everything else, the humans look odd. And if they aren't overly, characterized, like, if their features aren't overly exaggerated, then it's not good. The over-exaggeration I can deal with, Then it sort of leans into its own animation style. Otherwise, not so much. So, with this movie, it kind of felt aimless. I mean, it's not like you need a clear goal, or, I mean, they have a clear goal, they want to get home, but it's not like you need a clear, like, villain or overarching character growth or something like that to make a good story. It's just that these characters feel like they're just kind of wandering around, wandering from each place to each place just to see the funny trailer clips, which, I mean, I would say this movie is the most amusing out of all of them, but the most amusing parts were in the trailer. That's an Illumination kind of thing. But, I guess I'd say I could put this in the B tier. It's probably one of the better ones. Not the best. For them. Nothing is in here. But a better one. Next up is Sing. So, let's see. The thing about Sing is kind of also the thing about Despicable Me too, where I just didn't feel any emotions, I didn't go into it and I didn't feel a lot of, like, it didn't tug at my heartstrings, it didn't make me feel really happy, I didn't, dance along to the music, it was just kind of there. It was just kind of there for almost 2 hours. Why was this was almost 2 hours. No wonder I was just kind of groaning through it. It took forever. Not that 2 hours is long for a movie, but ugh. Most of the more interesting elements were spoiled in the trailer, which stopped doing that. So, like, I would say one of the most interesting characters is Johnny, the gorilla boy, and his whole mob dad and whatnot. Why would you put in the trailer the mobster dad just being like, that's my son, you resolved it for us? It's not like it was hard for us to figure that out. It was gonna happen no matter what. But, like, why would you tell us these things? Why? And you just put it right on in there. The same thing with a lot of the other characters. I'd say they did the best hiding, the one about Ash, the porcupine chick. Because you didn't see a lot of her story, but also she wasn't really that much of a focus. I mean, you can't have much of a focus when you have, like, 10 main characters. Though, they actually did an okay job of juggling the characters. I'm gonna say that. They did an alright job juggling all of the characters. Even if I wasn't really all that interested, I don't feel like the movie didn't know where it was focusing. It knew where it was focusing and kind of knew what it was doing. But I don't really feel all that attached to any of the characters. I mean, that's just what happens when you split it up like this. It feels like a lot of excuses to just throw in recognizable songs. And of course, all these movies are excuses to put in recognizable actors and actresses. Stuff like that. I love how voice actors and actresses don't get real jobs, but like Scarlett Johansson has to be everything, you know. But I mean, that's just how it is. Sing is, I kind of want to put it in B. Yeah, it's going in B tier. I just looked at what's in C tier, and it's not as bad as those two. As much as I didn't personally like it, I'd say it has the highest quality. Not the highest quality, but one of the higher quality ones. Next is Despicable Me 3. And, okay, despite its low ratings, the 58% here from Rotten Tomatoes as compared to some of the other ones, I actually really liked Despicable Me. Okay, maybe not really liked, but I liked it. I was enjoying it. I guess what I liked about this more than the other ones is that it leaned into its whole, like, goofy premise. So it takes the already goofy aspects of Despicable Me, which, I mean, have been there for the first one and the second one, and it just leans into it in such a way that you can't help but, like, at least find some of the ways that they bring it along amusing. And the whole brother side plot is alright. It actually didn't take the route that I thought it was going to do. You know, with the evil twin reveal or the liars reveal kind of thing. No, it's just two lost brothers that have to kind of figure it out. I liked that they did that with it instead of the evil twin. But, let's see. Oh, the unicorn side plot. I couldn't even be slightly arse to care. I just couldn't. It's very much so, Like, I mean, I get that it's about Lucy bonding with the children, but even then, it's just, I don't know, it's not interesting, it's not engaging, it's not compelling. But that might be because Lucy herself isn't a compelling character. But, yeah. That's mostly it for that one. I do like the Balthazar Brat supervillain fella. He was fun. He had a bounciness to his characterization that I actually kind of liked. I don't want to put it in the A, but I'll put it here, but higher here. Yeah. Next up is The Grinch. I actually have a lot of positive things to say about The Grinch. I would say that it's actually Illumination's most artistically creative, which, I mean, it's not really that artistically creative, but it's one of their more artistically creative ones. A lot of the sets are a lot more vibrant, they're bright, they have a little bit more of a whimsical feel, which it's Dr. Seuss, so of course it lends itself to that, but I think it leans on that a lot better. I like the backgrounds, I like the world design more than anything. The actual story itself, it's alright, but the world design is where I think it shines more. And also, a lot of people say that they really don't like how the Grinch was made to be sort of like a cuddly animal lover. And I mean, yeah, I get it. When I first went into it, I was just like, this guy doesn't look like he has garlic in his soul. Which, I mean, he doesn't. But it's a remake. Well, it's a sort of retelling of the story, re-envisioning. So it's not like you have to have the same characterization every time. That would get stale and boring. And the Grinch is such a non-character in the book. He's just kind of a malicious energy. He's used to tell a story about, the true meaning of Christmas, so it's not like he has a real personality that we have to, maintain. But I see where people are coming from with that. I mean, the Jim Carrey Grinch, it's not like the Jim Carrey Grinch was with the book. He's a whole different character, and I love that one. I mean, the movie is bad, and the Dutch angles, but I love that movie. I might have to talk about it one day, maybe during Christmas. Oh, that movie is fun. It still, of course, made a ton of money. I don't think I've gone through any of these that haven't made at least 3 times its budget. And they all have a budget of about 60, 70,000. And, you know, I can respect that to a degree. And it's not even hurting the employees from what I hear, so, you know. Oh no, it sounds like I'm actually speaking positively about Illumination. Let me rewind that up a bit. They're terrible and I hate them. But I actually liked the Grinch movie. What is her name? Cindy Lou Who or something? Yeah. The Cindy Lou Who character, they have changed completely. Now, she's cute, but not like Agnes cute for the sake of cute. Well, I mean, it's not like there's any other reason for her to be cute, but that's not like her only characterization. Like Agnes's, her whole thing is, I like fluffy, I like cute, I like unicorns. Which, I mean, is okay for a character, but I'm glad Cindy Lou Who was different. And she's got this whole little team of kids, and they're all gonna catch Santa, and I mean, that's cute in its own right. I think they blow their sadness load way too early with the Grinch and how he's just a sad orphan, and you know he doesn't really hate Christmas, but he's just the consumerism of it is what he hates, all that stuff. But they did that way too early in the movie, would say. But because it doesn't build up the intrigue of why he hates Christmas. If you tell us 25 minutes in why, I don't care. You know, you've made him too sad for me to want to see him succeed stealing Christmas. Let's see. What else is there about this? Oh, Fred, the reindeer thing, the fat reindeer. He didn't really serve a point except for commercials, I guess, and one cute moment at the end. Otherwise, very much so a non-character, not necessary. It makes the Grinch seem like softer, but other than that, overall, this is a pretty alright movie. I'm okay with the Grinch. I'm alright with that. I would put it in the A tier, but after Despicable Me. Just because I would say this was a more cohesive story from start to finish. You know, it's not doing all kinds of crazy side plots. It has one story. You can tell it has one goal, and it's, you know, stepping along to that goal to the end. And you can tell the stuff is planned from beginning to end. I mean, not that the rest of the stuff is unplanned, but it has a clear path. This ambles a little bit more, but I would say it's more artistically sound. I like it a little bit more. So I actually haven't seen The Secret Life of Pets 2. So I guess I can't really put it anywhere. So it's an S tier movie. You know, innocent until proven guilty, right? Or guilty, and let's just put it in the guilty until proven innocent. I've not heard great things about it. Let's see, does this have the ratings on here? Release, reception. It's grossed, of course, 303 million. But any numbers? Give me the number. 59%. Yeah, that's not the greatest. But hey, the Grinch got 59%, and I liked that. So, you know, I can't always take what people, and for the same matter, you can't always take what I say. When it comes to reviews, you have to look at it with your own eyes, unless you've been watching someone for years and you know pretty much exactly what their tastes are, and then you can go, well, if they absolutely hate this movie, I might not like it too. You know, that's kind of the beauty of following a reviewer online, when you get to build up with their taste and you get to find out what they like and sort of build your preferences alongside, not using someone to base your interest on, but more sort of gauging it on that. You know, if someone really likes RPGs and they review a first-person shooter, you know, unless it's Borderlands or something with RPG elements, you know, maybe they don't know what they're talking about there. But if they review an RPG, they might. You know, it's something like that. So this is the definitive tier list. Feel free to screenshot that and share it around. Definitive. Like, anybody else who's ever made a tier list on Illumination movies. They're wrong if it's not exactly like this. They are absolutely wrong, and they should feel bad about it. And I feel bad for them. And yeah, this isn't my opinion. This is fact. And if you like any of the movies down here, you're wrong. And if you hate the movies up here, well, I mean, you still might be right. But yeah, that's that. So I'm actually right now, let's see, I'm right now working on a video about the whole LGBT representation. And it's so long. The script, I said I wouldn't do this anymore, but the script is crazy long, and I'm in the process of moving out, and I still have work, and school's about to start up, so it might be a while before it comes out. Like, the audio recording for this next video alone will probably be at least an hour, if not more, with just how much content I have. So I'm probably going to split it up into 2 parts, and we'll see how that goes. I'm going to put a lot of work into the editing, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be really good. But other than that, I think that's all I wanted to do for this live stream. Just a short, maybe half-hour talk about all the Illumination movies. I've ranked them. This is how good they are. Rotten Tomatoes should fix up their ranking system to align itself with mine. But yeah, that's that.